Yes, people. It's your boy Shazad, and we're back again on the finished article with all things wrestling. So, we're going to be bringing you some more wrestling content over the next couple of weeks. We're going to try and get some more out because we haven't done it as much. But without further ado, I'm bringing on the boy, the big man, the finished article champion over here, Shazad. The man, the horse with the most shows. He's got the title. I don't think anyone's taking that title from you anytime soon, bro. Every show that we put out, you're on it, bro. Do you know what I mean? You're just there.
You know what, man? I'm here to represent, bro. That's how we roll.
That's it, bro. That's it. Always good to see you, bro. Always good to see you here, bro. Before we get going, though, bro, people, leave some love, leave some likes, leave some comments. Subscribe to the channel over here on YouTube. And you can find us over on Twitch at twitch.com/finished article. We'll be doing some live shows over there. And the replay videos for them will be over here on YouTube within the 24-hour period after. Thank you, everyone, for helping us reach the 100 mark. But now we are on the race to 200. As I said before, we've done a prize draw for the obviously what we announced earlier, the first 100 people. We have got a winner. We still haven't heard back from the winner, so I'm probably going to give them to the end of this week to get in touch with us. I've messaged them a couple of times, had nothing back. Messaged them on social media. I've messaged them on their YouTube channel. I'm not getting anything back. So we're probably looking at maybe this weekend or the following weekend. We'll be doing another prize draw with everybody that's in. So it's another chance to get in that prize draw, people. Subscribe to the channel, make sure it's visible, or send us a screenshot if you think it's not visible, and we'll add you to the prize draw. We've got about, out to the people that are subscribed now, so we've got about 110 to 111 people. We can see about 50 names. So if you feel that you might not be in the prize draw, give us a shout, let us know, and we'll get you in. As always, at the bottom, you've got the official Twitter and Facebook of the finished article. And right here in the corners of our streams, of our cameras, you have our personal Twitters. So if you ever want to hit one of us up personally about something that we've said, if you want to give us some grief, if you know what I mean, if I've said something that you don't like, let me know. If he says something that you don't like, let him know. I mean, that's what we want. We want people to let us know if we're doing something wrong. Or even if we're doing something right, let us know. But I'm going to let Shaz bring up his first point here.
Well, boys, you know this is the show that Shaz loves to have a rant. So I'm going to get my 2 pence in now before.
No, today's about your rants, bro. Today's about yours, not mine, bro.
Okay. Well, it's a combination of both. First topic I want to bring up, and it's the two are a combination of one another, but I'll go with the first one. So WWE storylines, what's going on. So as everyone's aware, myself and Shaz have covered this in depth over the last couple of weeks, months. We even did a podcast with Austin. So if you haven't seen that, check that out.
Yes.
So
There's
where
2
we cover
parts to that.
Yes, there is indeed. But essentially, the premise why I started watching AEW was basically I got bored of WWE storylines. I could literally tell you the story without even watching the episode. And unfortunately, they haven't failed to impress because we're bringing back legends like Goldberg and Fruity Pebbles because we haven't got any talent to put anyone over.
That's wrong, bro. You're saying they don't have talent. Come on, bro.
Hear me out. What I mean
I'll let you finish, bro. Let
me clarify my point. So
go for it.
They have talent, but the right talent isn't being put over. So, for example, you got Bobby Lashley, who again was out of the show, came back, tried to give it a fresh impetus. My point with that is he went from the Hurt Business to being a solo owner. You got Goldberg, who's literally challenging that. What does Goldberg achieve apart from giving his son a few live moments, if I'm being honest?
I
watched Raw yesterday, and I heard what he said. And
Just before you finish that, bro, we've got a comment from my brother. He likes to chuck his 2 pence in, bro. So here he is.
Let's see what he has to
They're
say.
letting the talent go.
Yeah, you know what? Right.
Over the past, I think over the past 12 months, they've let over 200 wrestlers go.
Yeah.
And that is talent that they can use on screen, not like the backstage staff and stuff like that. On screen talent, they've let about 200 people go.
Yeah.
A couple of them they've obviously re-signed, like Samoa Joe and Selena Vega.
Do you not think how stupid it is to let Samoa Joe go and then re-sign him because you know you messed up?
The reason that's happened, bro, I believe the reason that's happened is Vince McMahon let Samoa Joe go because he was on the main roster, and Triple H turned around and said, "No, I want him down here on NXT, so let me re-sign him on NXT." That's what I believe that's happened. Now,
basically, what you're telling me is Triple H has said that to Vince that go do one mate. NXT is the main show or main roster, and the rest is irrelevant.
Yeah, there you go. He said it. He said what I feel like saying, bro. Vince needs to retire. And me and you have been saying this for months now, Shaz, haven't we? Every time we talk about WWE, it always comes down to Vince McMahon needs to retire.
I told you the scenario yesterday. For those that don't know, I basically suggested that Undertaker needs to come back and bury Vince into the ground in a very
and make sure he doesn't come out.
Oh, we hope nothing happens. What we mean to is just kill him off in the storyline and say, "Tuja."
The thing is, though, bro, right? I've heard that this is I'm not sure how true this is, right? So NXT used to be on Wednesdays and it used to compete with AEW Dynamite for quite a while.
Yeah.
Now AEW were beating NXT on ratings.
Correct.
Right? And that was always going to happen because of the talent AEW have compared to NXT. Now, don't get me wrong, the NXT talent at the time was brilliant. They had the Undisputed Era, they had Finn Balor, they had Karrion Kross, but people want to see bigger talent on NXT. So over on AEW, you've got Chris Jericho, you've got Kenny Omega, you've got the Young Bucks, you've obviously got FTR joined there, MJF, Sammy Guevara, Cody Rhodes, Dustin Rhodes. I mean, they're always going to outshine the newer talent at NXT because the NXT talent isn't that well known worldwide compared to what they're showing on AEW. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this, just I'll finish this and I'll let you jump in, bro. The reason I'm saying that, the point I'm trying to make is that I've heard recently that Triple H is getting a lot of stick from Vince McMahon and a lot of heat from Vince McMahon because NXT lost the ratings against AEW. Now, I don't think that's a fair judgment because NXT doesn't have the main stars of WWE, right? Compared to AEW's Dynamite is their flagship show. That's like their Raw. Do you know what I mean?
Basically, so it's like you're comparing a third show on WWE.
So it's like the new show from AEW, Rampage, right? Going up against Raw. Raw's gonna win, bro, innit?
Yeah.
Because
I mean, you know what? Part of me thinks a couple of things I want to add to this. So it comes down to this: why extend Raw? And before you jump in, let me finish. So,
I'm letting you finish, bro. I'm drinking.
So why extend Raw and SmackDown by an extra hour, or Raw mostly to 3 hours? Because what you're saying is you're not good enough to get a storyline to fit. Now, a perfectly good example is we talked about this is Karrion Kross, smashed on NXT. The 2 times he's come up to Raw, and I can see your reaction. That is exactly what I wanted to see. You've just given him defeat. That, to me, is wasting a talent's ability to grow and develop.
That's just mad, right? So Triple H and NXT have built Karrion Kross over, I think it's the past 12 months.
Correct, yeah.
Including where he was injured, obviously, he take that time out. But over the past 12 months, he came to NXT. He was undefeated. He beat Keith Lee for the NXT Championship. And then he had to relinquish it due to an injury.
Yeah, correct.
He comes back. He's still undefeated. He is the one that dethrones the Prince King Balor, Finn Balor, sorry, as the NXT champion, which I still believe they shouldn't have done. That ruined Finn Balor's whole storyline and gimmick, but that I'll get onto that later.
Yeah.
So Karrion Kross then carries on his feud with Finn Balor. He carries it on with Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole and whatever. But then out of the blue, right, he's got this storyline going with Samoa Joe, right? Which I'm really enjoying.
Mm-hmm.
I like Samoa Joe. I've liked Samoa Joe since TNA's, back in the TNA days, bro. Now, the problem that I have with this is that you've just built up Karrion Kross as a badass, undefeated NXT champion. He's probably the most ruthless, the most dangerous champion on NXT or in the WWE, bar Roman Reigns, right? So then you bring him up to Raw for his first match on Raw on his birthday, might I add, without the NXT championship, without his manager Scarlett, and he loses to Jeff Hardy with a simple roll-up.
Yeah.
Now, what that does to his character, it just takes away everything that they've built up in the past 12 months that he's been undefeated, because he's just been beaten in a quick match by Jeff Hardy without a finishing move, bro. I mean, Finn Balor hit this guy with everything he had. Finn Balor hit him with every finisher that he can think of in his arsenal, bro. And he kicked out.
All right,
But Jeff Hardy beats him with a simple roll up and his feet up on the rope.
That's what I'm.
That's absolute bullcrap.
Okay. So, to sum that up, basically, Shaz has effectively just hit the thumbnail storyline on the head. Again, Jeff Hardy has nothing to achieve by getting a win over Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross, again, I'll bring the second one up because it ties into this. And it's a combination of both, and I'm going to let Shaz jump in.
I actually disagree with this one, bro. I'll let you carry on, though, bro, but I do disagree with what you've said there.
It's an opinion, and that's why I brought it up. So for me, the focus has gone into the wrestling and story's been ignored. Now, I agree with Chaz. It's probably not all of the case. It has been that way. But the reason I bring that up is that I was watching promos of old WWE matches, and I used to get excited by watching the promos like Austin, The Rock, Undertaker, Kane, Jericho,
Shawn Michaels. Yeah, bro.
You probably even RVD, if you want to throw in Goldust, you know.
Some Rob Van Dam. Sorry, I just wanted to get that out there.
Even Booker T and The Rock, for example. Now, when you look at the storyline now, as I mentioned, or we have said a few times, there isn't any creativity. So, for example, you and me are vibing off each other. We're not exactly reading a script to say, "Oh, Shaz, say this," or "Don't say this."
Yeah, exactly.
Within reason. So and we talked about chemistry. So that chemistry between talent should be there to vibe off. But for some reason, they still don't understand the message. The brand is dying because it's like you do a customer survey and you say, "Are you enjoying this?" No. And Vince will get this and he'll be like, ignore this. It doesn't mean what he's effectively doing is killing now. I'll let Shaz jump in on his
right.
point.
Cheers, bro. No, I your points are valid, bro. Don't get me wrong. I agree with what you've said there, right?
Yeah.
But the point that you brought up here, I want to just touch on it. The focus has gone away from the storylines, right? It has.
Yeah.
But to me, it's a bit 50-50, bro, right? So, yes, it has gone away from the good storylines, but it's going towards the bad storylines. Now, and what I mean by that is, okay, so you had the storyline with Bobby Lashley, Rusev, and Lana.
Yeah.
That was one of the worst storylines that WWE have ever done. Rusev and Lana were married in real life, or still are, and WWE decided that in the storyline, Lana's cheating on Rusev with Bobby Lashley. And then they brought freaking Liv Morgan into it, saying she was sleeping with Lana or something. I mean, it just went crazy, people. I don't understand what that storyline was supposed to do. It did nothing for Bobby Lashley. It did nothing for Rusev besides ruin his character. It did nothing for Lana. It did nothing for Liv Morgan, and it did nothing for the fans.
And you know what? Funny thing is that storyline effectively led to, or I could be wrong, but those three are no longer in the company.
Yeah, you're right, bro. And that storyline is the reason Rusev is no longer in WWE, right?
Exactly.
And another problem I have with WWE links into obviously what we just talked about. So Rusev has left WWE, and Lana was still contracted to WWE, right?
Yeah.
Now, what WWE decided to do was bury her and humiliate her week in and week out by getting her put through a table every week on Raw.
Yeah, I saw that.
And the reason they did that is because Rusev left. That was Rusev's punishment, was to see his wife be humiliated on TV every week. You don't treat talent like that, man. You don't. Rusev made his decision to leave. Lana didn't make that decision for him.
And that's
She stayed with WWE, but obviously because she was humiliated so much, she's left. She's gone.
I don't blame her. And this goes back to this goes back to talent management. How you use them, when are you using them, how to get the best out of them. I mean, one of the storylines that really irritated me this week was and I wanted to see this so badly. I wanted to see Jey Uso take the head of the table out, but you know what? They canned that storyline because they knew it was too good to be true, and they basically brought Free Pebbles. So he's fighting in SummerSlam, I believe, on Saturday. That's the other thing we need to talk about.
That's another thing we need to talk about, bro. Yeah,
SummerSlam is on a Saturday for a change, which for us UK fans is probably not a bad thing considering we can.
It's good, man, because it's late night here. It's like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock at night. And I might actually stay up and watch it, but I probably won't because it's WWE. And let's be honest,
me and Chaz actually have a reason to get up on a Sunday and we'll talk about something. But
bro, we've got a reason to stay up Saturday night and maybe do a watch along on SummerSlam.
Indeed, we'll keep you updated. But anyway, going back to Fruity Pebbles, bro, we're in 2021, and I feel like we've seen this storyline. These two have fought before. They fought
Roman Reigns has beaten John Cena before, so and I don't see this storyline going any other way besides John Cena getting beat to put over Roman Reigns. Finn Balor comes out, attacks Roman Reigns, and then he gets a title shot at another pay-per-view or even on bloody SmackDown, knowing the WWE. That's another problem that I have with WWE, man. The pay-per-view caliber matches. This match of Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns, when Finn Balor came back and he was given that opportunity on SmackDown, I was down for that, bro. I wanted to see that Prince Finn Balor take on the head of the table, Roman Reigns. I was down for that because it's happened before, but they're completely different characters now. Finn Balor beat Roman Reigns to then go on and beat Seth Rollins at SummerSlam and become the first ever Universal Champion, right?
Why not make it a triple threat match?
So what that does, if they had this match at SummerSlam, it would have been Finn Balor's chance to recapture the title he never lost. At the same pay-per-view, he won it, bro. Yeah. And he was the first ever Universal Champion. I'm going to keep saying that, bro, because he was the first ever Universal Champion for a reason. The production staff, Vince, everyone believed in him to make him the first ever Universal Champion, just like they did with Chris Jericho when he was the first undisputed champion back in the day, when he beat Rock and Austin, bro.
For those that don't know, Shaz, can you elaborate on why he lost the title the next night then?
Yeah, I mean, so the next night, so SummerSlam a couple of years ago, Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor for basically to become the first ever Universal Champion, as I've just been saying about 5 times. I believe Seth Rollins did the buckle bomb, but it was outside on the barricade. Finn Balor dislocated one of his shoulders, the one where he wears the thing over his elbow and whatnot. He popped it back into place to finish the match. He won the match, but then he needed surgery. So on Monday, the night after, he had to relinquish the title. So he was the first champion, the Universal Champion for like, do you know what I mean? 24 hours.
Technically, he's not really lost it then, by definition.
He didn't lose it. And that's the problem. Yeah. That's the point I'm trying to make, right? So Karrion Kross, let's use that as an example, bro.
Yeah, go for it.
NXT champion, he wins it from Keith Lee, but he's injured. So the next NXT, he relinquishes it. Just like Finn Balor did the next night on Raw from SummerSlam. Karrion Kross goes away, he reheals, he comes back. He goes straight back after that title, bro. Finn Balor, when he came back, he never got an opportunity for that Universal Championship again. He got lost in the shuffle. He got put in the Intercontinental title picture on SmackDown. He was Intercontinental Champion, I believe, for a little while. And then they were messing around with his character backstage, whatever, gimmick-wise. They wanted him to do some stupid stuff from what I've heard. I'm not even going to talk about that. I've already discussed that with you, Shaz, and I'm not bringing that type of stuff on this show, man. It's just, there's no point. Yeah. I'll be here for another hour talking about stuff like this, man. But he got lost in the shuffle on SmackDown, and then he had a resurgence in his career by going back to NXT when they debuted on the USA Network, and that did wonders for him, man. That his new character is that Prince Finn Balor, or Prince Balor, whatever you want to call him. I absolutely love it, man. He comes out, he destroys people. Do you know what I mean? And he does what he does best.
I think when Finn Balor dropped down to NXT, can I remember that show because who was it that was in the ring?
Adam Cole.
Adam Cole, yes. So
Adam Cole was in the ring. Tommaso Ciampa came out.
Yeah.
He returned that day, and then Finn Balor returned as well. I remember it because I buzzed off that end. That ending to NXT is the type of stuff WWE needs to keep doing, bro.
I can still watch that little segment over and over again and never get bored.
Bro. I mean, if it wasn't for YouTube and copyright, I'd bring it up right now and show everybody because I absolutely buzz off that ending where Adam Cole's in the ring, and I believe Tommaso Ciampa's music comes on and he comes out. The crowd go crazy. They start chanting "Daddy's home," and then the next thing you know, Finn Balor's music comes on, and bro, people lost their shit, bro.
No, I remember that was a great segment. But going back to your point, I think the storylines, like we've said many a time, they either need to get the guys from NXT, so the legends. Well, I'm not saying it has to be Triple H, Shawn Michaels. I know they probably have a stable of writers or talent that they can diversify because they've got to think about the brand overall. The problem is NXT's going up, Raw and SmackDown are going down, and that in generally isn't going to do much. And let's be honest, if you put NXT in comparison with AEW, it's never going to win hands down. So Vince has no right to criticize Triple H when he can barely manage his own 2 shows.
And that's why there's been a lot of cuts NXT wise.
Yeah.
Because Vince doesn't believe that the wrestlers Triple H has signed are good enough. He wants people in NXT that are younger than 30. And he wants these big, muscly people like Bobby Lashley type of people. And I don't get what Vince has against people like Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Finn Balor. Those people are brilliant wrestlers, and those are the type of wrestlers I want to see, bro. I don't want to see big steadheads like Bobby Lashley, bro.
No, exactly. Shaz, before we carry on, take a pause and let me bring up this comment.
Yes, Rayan, bro. How's it going, bro?
Nice one, bro. Thank you.
Nice one, bro. I appreciate you tuning in again, bro. I really do. If people don't know, Rayan's from over on Sarcasm City. He's got his own show, Analysis at Anfield. Go check it out. Yeah, man. We've been on a show with him over on Sarcasm City once. I tune in and watch the Q&As as well, Rayan. I saw what happened to you last week, bro. I think Shaz saw it as well, but I'm not gonna go into it, bro. That was a good show, though, man.
As always, bro. Much appreciated.
As always, bro. I really appreciate you tuning in, man. Really appreciate your support.
Go on, Shaz. I'm gonna let you take away before I jump in. Go for it.
No, you go for it, bro. You go for it. I want to take a pause for a second and just recollect some of my thoughts, bro.
You know what? Shaz, have a drink. Chill out. Catch your breath. So basically, in order to pick up where Shaz has left off, the brand is effective. The WWE brand is effectively dying right now. Vince needs
dead.
Yep, it's dead. But I'm being kind. I'm being kind when I try and
you're being too kind, bro. Just say it, bro. It's dead. Raw and SmackDown are dead products, bro.
No.
What part of Raw and SmackDown do you actually like, bro?
None of it.
Like, the only reason I tune into SmackDown, this is no word of a lie, for the past year, the only reason I've tuned in is Roman Reigns' storyline, the Bloodline storyline with Jey Uso.
That's probably it. But okay, you know what?
And now, another reason I tune in now to SmackDown is Finn Balor, because he's one of my favorite wrestlers. But I'll let you carry on, bro. I'll let you carry on. WWE's dead, though, bro.
I'm going to bring it up. SmackDown and Raw are dead. He wanted me to say.
Bro.
So basically, in a nutshell, they're dead. The talent's not getting utilized properly. And
sorry, bro, I'm not laughing at you, bro. I'm laughing at this comment that Rayan's left. It was about the Q&A that I just mentioned. I won't bring it up here because I'll just leave that down there. Actually, you know what? I'll bring it up, man. I'll bring it up. Let everyone see it. Cheers, guys. I didn't enjoy that Q&A, to be honest. Certain City fan getting in her feelings and taking criticism about our players personally. Pathetic.
Oh, wow.
I'm not going to comment on that, bro. It was a long show, man. That's all I'm going to say. It was a long show. I watched a lot of it as well. It was just it was mental, man. If you haven't seen it, Shaz, go check that out after this, bro.
I saw it, bro.
I'll send you the link, bro. I'll send you the link if you haven't got it.
Send me, bro. I saw it as well, but
sorry, bro. Sorry to interrupt you. I'll let you carry on with what you were saying. I do apologize.
Again, with the talent for me, Karrion Kross and these guys, effectively, Karrion Kross. Who else is there? Undisputed Era. They should be getting a push. And I don't understand.
That's the problem, bro. Undisputed Era has been split up, and one of them.
I don't understand why you split. Okay, so you split them up to create a feud, but then what's your angle? How are you not pushing them up? Why is what's his name again? Shaz, correct me if I'm wrong.
Adam Cole.
Adam Cole. Yeah, thank you. Why is
Adam Cole, baby?
Why is he still not getting the push?
Sorry, man.
No. I don't.
No. The thing with Adam Cole is, bro. I'm glad you brought this up because it is a good point to talk about, bro. Adam Cole doesn't need a title to be relevant in NXT.
No, correct.
Yes, he's a brilliant wrestler. He's a brilliant champion. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's one of the longest reigning NXT champions in history.
That's correct.
400 and something days. Bar NXT UK, you've got Walter, who's had it for like freaking 800 days now, bro. But that's another thing we need to speak about, Walter. But yeah, Adam Cole doesn't need a championship to be relevant because his in-ring work is basically, makes him relevant, right? In-ring wise, he reminds me a lot of Shawn Michaels, and so does Dolph Ziggler. That's another talent that I think is very underutilized by WWE.
Why not? For example, let me throw a storyline in there. It might not be relevant, but I'll put it out there. Why don't you have someone like Adam Cole go against Bobby Lashley? Yes, you're right. He probably does need a title to elevate his position, but it's something fresh. It's an idea. The fans in Raw and SmackDown, I haven't seen them live. They watch NXT. That for me is a fresh storyline.
You've got a good point, bro. You've got a good point.
I mean,
to elaborate on that, what you've just said, right? Why doesn't Adam Cole come up to Raw and face Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship, right?
Yeah.
Because Vince McMahon is stupid. He doesn't know what talent the fans want to see, right? I would love to see Adam Cole on Raw or SmackDown. There's so many matches he can have with other wrestlers and make them look good, and he would improve that product just by being on the show, right? Just like he does with NXT. Now, secondly, the storyline you've mentioned, Adam Cole coming up and facing Bobby Lashley, right? Okay, picture it, bro, right? You've got the Hurt Business still together, right? They're in the ring. They're flapping their gums like they always used to, bro, saying that we can't be beaten, we can't be touched. The music hits, shock the system. The Undisputed Era come out. 4-on-4, bro. That would be a sick storyline, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you had Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin as tag team champions, and then you have Bobby Lashley as the WWE champion, right? So what that does is you bring the Undisputed Era up, and they've got a big push straight away. They're going after the world champ and the tag champs. You started off by the Undisputed Era coming out, maybe threatening them, giving them a bit of a warning the first time. The week after, the couple of weeks after that, they come out every week. They attack them, they beat them down. The Hurt Business do it back. It goes back and forth. It builds up the tension, and then you have a 4-on-4. Hurt Business versus Undisputed Era. Then the Undisputed Era win because that's how you put them over. You have them beat a legitimate stable like the Hurt Business with them type of wrestlers. And then you have Adam Cole go after Bobby Lashley for the title. And then you have maybe Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish go after the tag titles. And then you have Roderick Strong go after the US title. And they do what they did on NXT and they hold all the titles on the show and they run that show, bro. Right? That's what Undisputed Era do, bro. They come on a show, they run that show, right? So they've done it on Raw. Then you send them over to SmackDown and do the same thing on SmackDown once they lose them titles on Raw. That's how you build that stable up to be the best stable in WWE.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's just my personal perspective on it, bro.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that's the type of storylines we need to see. We're not seeing it right now because we keep seeing tried and tested methods work, and it doesn't really do. I mean, another one I want to talk about is Randy Orton. I think he's kind of lost in the system right now.
You're opening a kind of whoop ass right now, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the whole idea behind. So we had to talk about it at some point, and
let's talk about it, bro. I'll let you go first.
I just don't understand. This is a guy that has literally done everything, and while I like Broski, I got nothing wrong with him. I just don't understand the angle that are they trying to put him over and Randy Orton's helping him do that, or are they just bored and they've run out of ways to utilize him? This is kind of like
sorry, bro. Sorry to interrupt you, bro. You've asked the question, right? Yeah. You answer that question yourself. You know the answer to that yourself, bro. They don't know what they need to do with Randy Orton right now, right? So they're stuck in with Matt Riddle.
Yeah.
Right? Randy Orton. So Randy Orton comes back. He tells Riddle that he doesn't want to be his tag team partner again, right?
Okay.
He RKO's him at the end of a Monday Night Raw. This week on Monday Night Raw. I don't know if you've seen it, Shaz, right? Have you seen it?
Yeah, I saw it.
Right, okay. So Riddle comes out, asks Orton to be his partner again.
Yeah, correct.
And Randy Orton basically leaves him on his own against AJ and Omos, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then, are they trying to make Riddle look stupid, right? Because Riddle then comes out and saves Randy Orton from a beatdown, right? For what reason? And then Riddle says the reason was Randy Orton was teaching him how to do an RKO properly. Right? And then Randy Orton gives him a hug and says, right, we're RK Bro again. And then they get a tag team title shot out of nowhere, bro. Just because they're feuding with AJ and Omos. Tell me that's not a stupid storyline, bro. Right? How many times has Randy Orton had a tag team partner and turned on him? Did it to Edge in rated RKO. He's already done it to Riddle once. He did it. He turned his back on Evolution. He turned his back on Legacy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's turned his back on every partner he's had, and Riddle thinks that they're best friends or they're bros or whatever. It's not going to end well, this, bro. It's going to end with Randy Orton and Riddle maybe winning the tag team titles, and then Randy Orton's going to turn on him again with an RKO out of nowhere on a Monday Night Raw, and then they're going to drop the tag titles to, I don't know, maybe AJ and Omos again, maybe the Viking Raiders. Who knows who they're going to lose them to, man. But then WWE still don't know what to do with Randy Orton, right? Now, Randy Orton is a 14-time world champion, bro. 14-time world champion, and they don't know what to do with him. What is wrong with WWE, bro?
That's exactly what
Bobby Lashley, right, has had an amazing run since he's been WWE champion, and he thoroughly deserves that title, right? He's worked hard to have that title. You know, he's put in the work. He's a good, legitimate fighter, bro. But does he really need to be fighting Goldberg for a title?
No.
Does Goldberg really need a title opportunity at his age?
No. He's not
No,
going to retain it for long enough anyway.
Bro. Oh my days. So SummerSlam, right? If Goldberg wins, why? Why does Goldberg win? You tell me, bro. Why does Goldberg win, bro? Tell me. In what universe? In what universe does Goldberg win? And in what universe does he need another championship at his age in his career, bro?
Yeah, but that's
he's already a legend, right? And he's probably already going to be a Hall of Famer for WWE if he is not already. So why does he need another championship?
He doesn't. This goes back to poor talent planning. So my point is, you want to take this generation forward. So by the way, for those that haven't seen wrestling that much as myself and Chaz, we used to watch these guys back in the day. We're talking about in early 90s, 2000s. Yeah. We're talking back then. That's when we were in college.
We're talking WCW versus WWF. Exactly. We're talking about the Monday Night Wars, people.
Exactly. Now what we're doing is we've got a new generation that are seeing legends, which is actually a good thing. But why a legend needs to come back and fight for a championship? Yeah. And you know what? They've done silly things like that in the past before as well. So it doesn't really surprise me. What surprises me is what benefit, for example, let's say, for example, Goldberg wins. What angle do WWE then go in and say, okay, look, okay, you made him champion. What now? Who are you going to help put over now? Because the problem is that storyline will probably last 1 hour into Monday Night Raw and be finished. And then you're like, okay, but what are you trying to achieve by that? Again, the same thing. That I think this is even bigger one, Chaz. So we talked about storylines. You've now got Ric Flair and, I know this is going to annoy you, John Cena on 16 titles. There's a difference between John Cena's and a difference between Ric Flair's. If by some miracle Cena does win, and wouldn't surprise me, then that basically means that's basically tarnishing WWE there, right in there. Because you're basically saying a legend like Ric Flair, woo! Woo! You're just basically saying his record means nothing because
you're right, bro. You're right, bro. You bang on with what you said, bro. Right. John Cena doesn't deserve the 16 championships he's already held, right?
Yeah.
He's the poster boy for WWE, and he's been the poster boy for the past 15 years-ish, right? Since the Attitude Era finished, he's been their poster boy, right?
Yeah, correct.
He doesn't deserve the 16 titles, right? Maybe he deserves a couple of championships because he's been their main event guy for a while, right? But he's that type of wrestler, or he's that type of character that they have. He's that big of a character right now in WWE that he doesn't need a title to be relevant, just like Adam Cole doesn't in NXT, right?
Yeah.
Just like Goldberg doesn't in his career. So for John Cena to come back and face Roman Reigns, I'm fine with that, right? I'm fine with it because the first time it happened, they had a promo where they gave each other a lot of grief, right?
Correct.
And they brought some personal stuff into it. John Cena said, this is how you cut a promo, I'll teach you, and all this stuff. And this time, Roman Reigns hit back at him, bringing up Nikki Bella and other people, right? And other things in his career, which is fine. I like that type of promo, bro. It brings legitimacy to the promo and the product and the storyline. It makes it more personal. And I like that type of stuff because it brings intensity into it, right? But what I have a problem is John Cena doesn't need to be in a title picture, right? The only way I see, right? So there's right now, there's two legends, Goldberg and John Cena, have both returned, and they've both got title shots just by returning, right? Now, the only way I see this going, bro, is John Cena loses to put Roman Reigns over, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way I see that one going. Now, on the other hand, Bobby Lashley, the same. I feel Bobby Lashley needs to beat Goldberg, and it puts him over and it makes him a more dominant champion by beating a legend like Goldberg, which is the same for Roman Reigns by beating John Cena, right? But like I said, they don't need to be in them storylines, bro. They don't. Now, the way they should be using Goldberg is by having him put over other talent, like he did with Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. Not this year, last year.
Yeah, last year.
Okay. The first WrestleMania during the lockdown, I think it was 35 or 34. Right? that's the way you use a legend. You have him put over a new talent that you want to push to the main event, right? But at that point, Goldberg was a champion, which I don't believe he should have been champion, right? Which is minor. He put Drew McIntyre over, which I'm happy with, right? But right now, Goldberg shouldn't be in a title picture. He shouldn't be having a title match against Bobby Lashley. What he should be doing is maybe having matches with people like Keith Lee and putting Keith Lee over. Maybe fighting Karrion Kross and putting Karrion Kross over as a badass. Or maybe having, fights with people like that. Same with John Cena, bro. He shouldn't be having a title match. He should be facing people maybe like Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode is so underused in WWE. John Cena won't fight Dolph Ziggler because they hate each other in real life. There's beef between them over Nikki Bella. But that's another story for another day, bro.
Well, we won't ramble on too much.
I'm not going to go on to that too much. But John Cena should be fighting people like that. And maybe even Finn Balor. Maybe he comes back and says to Finn Balor, I want the title match. And Finn Balor says, okay, you want the title match? Beat me and you can have the title match because it's mine. And then Finn Balor comes to SummerSlam, beats John Cena clean, no cheating. He beats him clean. That puts Finn Balor over, and then he gets his title shot at Roman Reigns. But this is WWE, bro. They don't think the way we fans think. Vince McMahon doesn't think the way a fan thinks. And that's the problem. The writers, the producers, they don't think the way the fans think because they're not even fans. Some of them are just writers from TV shows or movies, bro. And that's the wrong type of people to have in a wrestling industry because you need to have people who understand the product and what the fans want.
That's what I mean. That's an age-old saying that I agree with. Understand the product before you go and look for a customer's needs. Because if you understand that, you can deliver everything according. But I actually agree with you on the whole sentiment of how they're using these legends. I don't mind to bring them back for a pop crowd ratings. Yeah, for example, if John Cena comes back and gives Roman Reigns an FU and walks out the ring, that is more than him winning the title because what he's done is he's lifted the atmosphere post-COVID. I'm good with that. Him fighting for a title match,
definitely, bro.
Again, does nothing, and this is where I draw the line at that. The positive storyline.
I get where you're coming from, bro. Definitely. Now, if you see that, so we know how WWE are using the legends like Goldberg, John Cena, and people like that, right? So let's flip it onto AEW, right? AEW have legends. They've got Sting. Sting is there to support Darby Allin.
Yeah.
And Sting hardly fights. Hardly ever. He's had maybe maybe two matches now in AEW, and he's been there for months. He's about to have a match tonight, I think, in a tag team match with Darby Allin. He's there to help put Darby Allin over. That's his sole reason for being there, right? Then you've got Jake the Snake Roberts. He is the mouthpiece for Lance Archer. He is there to help this guy get over, and he's doing a good job at it. You've got Tully Blanchard, who is Tully Blanchard. He's the manager for the Pinnacle, for FTR, for Sean Spears, and he's helping get them guys over, which is great. And then there's other legends like Arn Anderson. He's the coach for Cody Rhodes. These people aren't there in a wrestling capacity. They're there to support and help get the talent over. And that's the way WWE should be doing it with their legends as well, instead of just sticking them in a ring, giving them title shots, giving them main events. John Cena could have a match at SummerSlam and not be in the main event and still be relevant on that card, bro. The same with Goldberg. The same with any of the legends that they have. And that's why I have a problem with it. The way that WWE bring back a legend and give him a main event or a title shot over people who have been putting work in week and week out, like Ricochet, like Finn Balor, like the Usos, like the Street Profits, like Bobby Roode, like Dolph Ziggler, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Roderick Strong. All these people deserve more TV time. They deserve main events. They deserve title shots. But they're getting taken away from them by WWE bringing these so-called legends back. And I'm saying legends very loosely because I don't believe John Cena's a legend.
Or he's been
Goldberg, yes, because Goldberg was a legend in WCW. He's done quite a lot in WWE. John Cena, I don't believe he should be where he is he can't wrestle. The only thing he's good at is promos and pumping up the crowd.
Yeah, but I don't think
giving
his promos
t-shirts
are
away,
all
bro.
that good. I think his entrance music is better than his promos because his promos don't have the same effect as The Rock, Austin, Booker T,
Yeah,
even Undertaker's promos were 10 times better because
he hardly even spoke.
Yeah, he hardly spoke. I mean,
he just came to the ring and looked at the WrestleMania sign the past few years, bro.
Exactly. Best
and then he rolled his eyes to the back of his head and did the.
Yeah.
That was it.
Best promo.
And those promos were better.
Actually, you know what? The best storyline promo I've seen, and I have to give a bit of credit, was as much as I hate the match, the promo was good. Undertaker, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar's about to walk out. Taker walks in, stabs him with a pen, chokeslams him the table. Job done. Best promo.
One promo I really like, bro. One person who can cut a promo is The Miz, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't care whether you hate The Miz, whether you love The Miz. That guy can cut a promo like no one in the business right now, right? There was a promo that he cut back when Daniel Bryan was general manager on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even a promo. It was on the talk show Talking Smack. And that was legitimately one of the best promos I've ever seen because it was so real. And The Miz got so emotional. Daniel Bryan actually walked off, bro. Do you remember it?
I remember it well, yeah. I watched it.
I still go back and watch that promo because that is how you cut a promo. If you want to teach someone how to cut a promo, how to use emotion and how to use things in real life in a promo, that's how it's done. Go see The Miz. The Miz isn't where he is in WWE for no reason. He started off in Tough Enough. He started off in reality TV and he made his name in WWE as a wrestler. He's a great promo guy and now he's going into movies. Do you know what I mean? He's legitimately one of the best people to cut a promo in WWE.
No, I agree, bro. I enjoy his promos, and I think he's one that definitely knows how to hold the mic and push talent over and push shows on because he could practically run it himself. But
now, the way The Miz is being used, I don't like it. Where he was faking an injury, and he's never been injured in his 16-year career, bro. What are you even talking about? The guy is very proud of the fact that he's never been injured in his 16-year career, but then you use a storyline to say he's injured to make him look weak.
That it's poor storyline telling in that respect. That a guy who isn't injured, fans aren't stupid. They're not going to buy into this. Oh, he's injured now, and we need to do this and that. I think they're just using to abuse certain talents because they don't understand mental well-being. So I know we mentioned about it, but Chris Jericho and Eddie Guerrero are two perfectly good examples of guys that got done over on drugs because for
Sorry, did you say Chris Jericho?
No. Chris Benoit.
Oh, Chris Benoit. Sorry, I thought you said Chris Jericho for a second,
no,
bro. Yeah, you're right.
And,
Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero, man. Two of the radicals, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those guys were well known in the ring, and we saw how they passed away. I mean, due to various reasons. But again, this goes back to WWE not understanding talent welfare and well-being, and this is something that needs to change.
I mean, since then, obviously, they brought out the wellness program, bro. And that does help. I mean, obviously, wrestlers get strikes and whatnot.
I know they have, but
they need. Yeah, you're right. Though. They need to do more.
It's like, bro. Here's a phone. Well, what's the phone for? You're not understanding the value of what you're trying to deliver. So you can implement all these, or you can say you're doing it, but you need to be able to demonstrate it.
No, you're right. You're right, bro. I'm 100% with you. They need to do more to protect the talent. Definitely, bro. Definitely. I mean, I don't know if you remember, Shaz, when Eddie Guerrero was around, like before he passed away, the talk was that they were going to build up a program for him to fight Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania.
Okay, cool.
Now, imagine that match, bro. Two of the best in-ring talents at that time, in that era, against each other at WrestleMania, bro. That would have been amazing. Even if there was no title on the line, people would have been hyped for that match, bro. Because Eddie Guerrero was really over with the fans with his lie, cheat, and steal gimmick. And Shawn Michaels was Shawn Michaels was over with the crowd at that point as well because of his in-ring ability. And I think them two, if they faced each other, bro, it would have been brilliant. Unfortunately, Eddie Guerrero passed away, and we never got to see it, which is quite gutted, bro, that we never got to see them fight.
No, it is a shame, and I think this goes down to the management. So if you look at it, these guys are on the road probably 300, 250, 300 times a day. And again, that is not healthy, conducive for your mind. Basically, you know what happens? A storyline is only as effective as the person that's doing it. So if they're mentally tired, fatigued, I know people might not understand what we're saying, but me and Chaz understand that in order to deliver performance, you need to be on peak condition and peak form. Now, if you keep doing the same thing again and again, what will happen is your body will wear out.
You're going to get burnt out, bro.
Yeah, exactly. So you need to manage that workload and say, look, I need the best out of you. What are you good at? Promos. Okay. Well, in order to get the best out of you, I need you to do promos every other day or a couple of times a week, which means you're delivering value. Right now, they're just delivering.
You're devaluing that guy's promos by making him do it so often. Bang on, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bang on. And the same goes for wrestling, bro. So, like the wrestlers, obviously, they wrestle when they do house shows and they do touring. They wrestle 4-5 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very, very heavy schedule for a wrestler. I mean, their bodies get battered and bruised in matches. Yes, I mean, wrestling is, I'm not going to say fake, right? Because wrestling's scripted. It's choreographed. The moves that they do obviously have an impact on their body, like a suplex or being dropped on your back or your face or whatever. They have an effect. They leave marks, they leave bruises, they leave pain, right? And if you're doing that 4 to 5 times a week and your company is still expecting more out of you, the best out of you each time, it's going to be hard after a while. I mean, to start off with when you're younger, and obviously you're going to be able to do it. You're going to be able to be at your highest performance day in, day out. But then if you're doing it consistently, week in, week out, 4 to 5 times a week, after a couple months, you're going to start feeling the effects of that on your body and your mind, bro. It's going to affect your mind, your body. You're going to get, obviously, you're going to go out there. You're not going to give you 100%. Your performance level is going to drop. And that's when people like wrestlers start looking towards painkillers to help them get through the pain, through the day. They start looking at drugs, maybe alcohol to numb the pain. And that ties into what you were saying about, that they need to do more to protect their talent. Yeah. Maybe have them wrestle 2 times a week and then have 5 days off.
They need a release. They need a release. So the problem is if you keep going back to back, eventually they'll just implode. I mean, one of the perfectly good examples I can give you of that is around
Kurt Angle, bro.
The Undertaker. I watched his documentary, The Last Ride.
Yes.
The guy put his body for Vince through the line. And he even said, I think it was when he fought Roman Reigns the first time, or when he fought him.
At WrestleMania.
WrestleMania. So he said he should not have been in that match. Mm-hmm. And that's
I remember listening to that part of it, bro. Yeah. I remember it.
And that's kind of the message that they need to understand, that you've literally just made him look bad in front of Reigns because Vince doesn't care about people's mental health or well-being.
Thing is, though, the relationship between Vince and Undertaker was a special relationship.
I know. I
didn't watch the whole documentary. I've watched bits of it, and
I watched it,
the Undertaker's wife basically said, the Undertaker would take a bullet for Vince. If Vince said he needed him, he'd be there. That's how loyal he was to Vince, because Vince gave him a platform. Vince made him big. Vince, basically made him the star he was, and he wanted to be loyal to Vince until he retired, which is fine, but he should have protected his body as well. Do you know what I mean? And I get where you're coming from, though, bro.
This is where Vince should have protected Taker and said, look, no, I'm not gonna let you do it to yourself because you've just come back from surgery, bro. The amount of surgery Taker's had, anybody else has that, they're done.
There was a match. I don't know which match it was. I remember Undertaker talking about it on the show. That after the match, backstage, he went straight into an ambulance.
Yes.
And Vince went to hospital with him and his wife. Which match was it? Was it after the Brock Lesnar match at WrestleMania? It was, weren't it? Vince was the Undertaker was that gone after that match, not because he lost his first match at WrestleMania, because of the physical impact that match had on his body. Do you know what I mean? And he had to go to hospital because he was that exhausted and tired and battered and bruised from it. And that guy and the Undertaker at that point was wrestling maybe once a year, twice a year, maybe more, maybe a handful of times a year he was wrestling, and he was still going to hospital after a match.
Yeah, no,
he shouldn't have been wrestling at that point. He should have been healing. He should have got himself fair enough, he wasn't wrestling that much throughout the year, and that's because of his condition, but he shouldn't have been in that ring, and Vince should have not put him in that situation.
Yeah, and this is again Vince not respecting Taker's ability to take a bullet.
Everything that we spoke about, bro, it all leads back to Vince McMahon not doing the right thing. Storyline wise, releasing talent, ratings being lost against AEW, injuries, the wellness, the drugs, the painkillers, everything. It all leads back to Vince McMahon, bro.
Yeah.
And that's what the problem is. Yes, Vince McMahon has said that WWE will pay for former wrestlers' rehabilitation. Right? But the thing is, those wrestlers shouldn't have been addicted to the drugs or alcohol as a wrestler in the first place. Yeah. If you had a better schedule for them, if you looked after them better, they wouldn't have had to go down that road and be in rehab.
No.
I mean, I don't know if you know Shaz, right? You know Diamond Dallas Page, yeah? DDP. He has his own yoga thing, right? He actually helped, was it Jake the Snake Roberts? Him and Cody helped Jake the Snake Roberts through a difficult period in his life. They literally locked him in a room so he would get away from addiction, bro. And then they helped him, obviously, with the DDP yoga to become healthy. And he's turned his life around. And now AEW gave him a contract, right? His contract was for a year to be the manager of Lance Archer.
Correct, yeah.
The contract was coming to an end, and he didn't know what to do. So he spoke to Tony Khan. Tony Khan said, "Leave it with me. I'll sort it out."
Yeah.
A little bit after, maybe a couple of weeks after, or maybe a while after, someone came over to him and said, "Oh, your contract's expired." And he goes, "Okay, so do you want me to leave?" And the guy gave him a piece of paper and said, "This is your new contract. Sign it." He didn't even read it. He just signed it. And then he thought it was for another year. But after reading it, it was actually 2 years. So now that he's turning his life around, Cody's one of the EVPs of the company. He's obviously trying to keep him in the business and away from that addiction by giving him another 2-year contract. That's how you look after people, the legends and the talent, bro. You try and keep them in the business doing what they love. Like Ric Flair, obviously, he's retired, bro.
Yeah.
But he asked for his release from WWE because he wanted to be on TV. He turned up at Triple Mania in, I believe it's Mexico or the AAA promotion, and attacked Conan and Kenny Omega out of nowhere. Just this last week, bro. He just turned up and attacked people for no reason, bro. And this is Ric Flair. This is a 16-time champion, Ric Flair, the Nature Boy. And I think I know why he did it, because it was in a match with Andrade, who is currently seeing his daughter. So it may be something linked with that. It might not be. Will Ric Flair turn up on AEW when his no-compete runs out? Most likely.
I wouldn't be surprised, yeah.
Will Charlotte Flair leave WWE? Most likely. I think when her contract runs out, she'll leave and go to AEW, because she can still use that name, Flair, because I don't think WWE can tell her you can't use your real name.
Yeah, she's using their name, so they have no right to tell her she can't.
Exactly, bro. So WWE when a lot of the bigger talent have their contracts up for renewal, WWE are going to be in a difficult position. Like Adam Cole's contract's up this week after SummerSlam. So if Adam Cole's not used right, if Adam Cole doesn't do, if WWE don't let him do what he wants at the next pay-per-view, Takeover 36, I think that's this Friday, I think, or something like that. Or it's this weekend, I believe.
Yeah.
Adam Cole could say, right, I'm not staying here, I'm going. And he won't even have a 30-day no-compete, bro, because his contract's expired. He's not been released. He could turn up on AEW on Wednesday if he signed with them and make an impact, bro.
No, that's
and there's just one more thing that I wanted to talk about, bro, before we do wrap up. Walter. NXT UK champion Walter. He's held a title close to 700-800 days now, which is amazing. He's due to be at NXT TakeOver 36 to defend his championship against Dragunov. Now, I've mentioned this on one of our previous podcasts. These two had a match at an NXT UK event. It might be an NXT UK TakeOver pay-per-view, or it might have just been one of their weekly shows. But they had this absolutely amazing match, bro. One of the best matches, one of the most brutal matches you will ever see, bro. NXT UK Championship, Walter versus Dragunov, won. Watch that, bro. And then get ready to watch part 2 at TakeOver 36. That is going to be a brilliant match. Those two put on a clinic. They put on a show last time, bro. And this time, they've got Shawn Michaels, Triple H, A-Train, Road Dogg, and all them helping them build this match up and make this match and produce it. So it's going to be better than part 1, if you ask me.
No, it'd be interesting to
so
see.
I think TakeOver is on Friday and SummerSlam is on Saturday. Is that right?
Yeah, correct.
So that's 2 nights of wrestling. I might actually stay up for the TakeOver because I actually enjoy NXT. The only thing I'm sick of NXT is having to see Kyle O'Reilly fight Adam Cole again. It's a 2 out of 3 falls match, which is probably going to last 45 minutes. So it's going to be a good match because they're both brilliant wrestlers, but they shouldn't be putting them on against each other so much. This kind of reminds me of the storyline that we saw between Triple H and Shawn Michaels when Shawn Michaels first returned at SummerSlam 2004, I believe it was, or something like that. And they just fought every pay-per-view for like a year, bro. And then about a year after, they were friends again and as DX. It was mad. But those matches that they had, the 3 stages of hell, the street fight when Shawn Michaels first came back, the unsanctioned match, and some of the other matches that they were part of, the first Elimination Chamber, where Shawn Michaels won the title again after so many years of being out of the game. Some of the best times in wrestling back then, bro. I absolutely buzzed off it. But that storyline with Triple H and Shawn Michaels reminds me a lot of the way they're going with Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole. And now that is dependent on if Adam Cole sticks around.
Yeah,
personally, I don't see him sticking around for various reasons. A, he's not getting a push onto Raw or SmackDown. He's still stuck at NXT. He wants to be bumped up to the main roster so he gets a higher pay wage or whatever. B, his girlfriend is in AEW as the women's champion, Britt Baker. He could easily go to AEW and obviously feud with Bear people. You good, bro? You look like you're about to fall asleep. I'm boring you, yeah?
No, I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in.
Nah, but I've gone on for long enough, bro. I'm going to wrap this one up. We'll probably do a part 2 very soon on this because there's a lot more to talk about. I didn't realize we had so much to talk about and so little time. I actually didn't realize we'd gone on for an hour, bro. Yeah, bro. Sorry about that, bro. I didn't realize I rambled on for so long. You should have told me to shut up, like I told you, bro.
So good, bro. So good.
But yeah, we'll wrap it up, bro. But before we do, personal Twitters are in the corners. Official Twitter and Facebook are at the bottom, scrolling on the screen. Add us, follow us on social media, subscribe to the channel, show us some love, leave some likes, subscribe, some comments on the channel, and yeah, get yourselves added into the prize draw, because it looks like we will be doing it again if we don't hear back by probably Monday from the winner.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will leave it at that. We'll bring this back on a part 2, probably next week. We might do it next week. We may be doing it on the weekend. We'll see how we go with that. But we'll definitely will be back with a part 2 of this, where we continue to talk about the current state of the WWE storylines and how we feel about it. And obviously, from watching part 1, you can kind of tell how I feel about it, and you can kind of tell how Shaz feels about it. So if you want to hear us rant and rave about how bad WWE are doing, and just subscribe to the channel so you don't miss part 2. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, don't miss it. It's going to be a cracker.
It's going to be a cracker, because I'm going to be talking a lot more. I'm going to go in depth into a lot more things. Maybe into a part 2 or even a part 3. But yeah, we will be back. So tune in again here on the Finished Article next week on Wednesday evening for all things wrestling. And also tune in tomorrow, Thursday evening, Thursday night, all things. No, it's not all things. It's Fergie time, where we talk about Manchester United and we talk about the recent signing of Varane and being unveiled at Old Trafford. But until next time, people, stay safe and stay tuned.
Take it easy.